African Americans are redefining the American dream through buying tiny homes. In recent years, African Americans have been redefining the concept of the American dream by embracing an alternative housing trend: tiny homes. These compact and affordable dwellings have gained popularity among individuals and families who seek financial freedom, minimalism, and sustainable living. In this blog post, we will explore the growing trend of African Americans investing in tiny homes and discuss the cost comparison between tiny homes and traditional houses. Additionally, we will delve into the financial benefits of purchasing a tiny home with cash as opposed to financing a traditional mortgage. Tiny homes present a unique opportunity for African Americans to achieve financial freedom and overcome the barriers to homeownership. The cost of purchasing a traditional home can be prohibitive for many families, making the dream of homeownership seem unattainable. However, tiny homes offer an affordable alternative, with prices typically ranging from $30,000 to $100,000, depending on size and customization options. This significantly lower price point makes it easier for African Americans to enter the housing market and build equity. Another reason why African Americans are gravitating towards tiny homes is the desire for a simpler and more sustainable lifestyle. The minimalist philosophy of tiny living aligns with the values of many individuals seeking to declutter their lives and focus on experiences rather than material possessions. Tiny homes encourage intentional living, promoting the efficient use of space and reducing environmental impact. This aspect resonates with African Americans who prioritize sustainability and value the freedom that comes from shedding the burden of excess belongings. Tiny homes provide an opportunity for African Americans to embrace a more nomadic lifestyle if desired. As these homes are often built on wheels, they can be easily relocated, allowing individuals and families to explore different communities and regions without the constraints of a fixed location. Also, the close-knit neighborhoods that frequently develop around tiny house parks provide residents with a sense of support and belonging, making it an appealing choice for Black Americans looking to interact with like-minded people and establish a strong network. When comparing the cost of tiny homes to traditional houses, it's crucial to consider the significant difference in upfront investment. The lower initial investment required for a tiny home is an appealing factor for African Americans who are seeking homeownership without taking on substantial debt. In addition to the lower upfront costs, tiny homes offer significant savings in monthly expenses. These dwellings are designed to be energy efficient, with smaller square footage requiring less heating, cooling, and electricity. African Americans who choose tiny homes can enjoy substantial savings on utility bills, allowing them to allocate more of their income towards other financial goals, such as debt repayment, education, or investments. One of the most compelling financial advantages of purchasing a tiny home with cash is the absence of a mortgage. While traditional homeowners are burdened with long-term mortgage payments, African Americans who buy tiny homes outright can experience the freedom of living mortgage-free. This financial liberation allows them to redirect their resources towards personal and professional growth, investment opportunities, and building generational wealth. The growing interest in tiny homes among African Americans has sparked discussions and initiatives focused on creating sustainable communities and affordable housing options. Organizations and advocates are working towards establishing tiny home communities specifically tailored to meet the needs of African American individuals and families. These communities aim to provide not only affordable housing, but also a supportive environment that fosters social connections, empowerment, and shared resources. As the trend of African Americans embracing tiny homes continues to gain momentum, there is a growing need for financial education and empowerment within the community. Providing resources and workshops on budgeting, saving, and investment strategies can equip individuals with the knowledge and tools necessary to make informed financial decisions. By empowering African Americans with financial literacy, they can navigate the housing market and homeownership options more effectively, ultimately building wealth and achieving long-term financial stability. Advocacy plays a crucial role in ensuring that the tiny home movement is accessible and inclusive for all communities, including African Americans. Activists and organizations are advocating for policy changes and zoning regulations that accommodate tiny homes as a viable housing option. By working towards legalizing and expanding the tiny home movement, these efforts seek to dismantle systemic barriers and create equitable housing opportunities for African Americans. By embracing the trend of tiny homes, African Americans are not only redefining the American dream, but also creating pathways to financial freedom, sustainable living, and community connection. Exploring the financial ramifications and opportunities that small homes offer is crucial as the movement develops because doing so will enable people and families to make educated decisions about their housing needs and long term financial objectives.